Okay, so I got my arm segments all together. I got my alcohol lamp and my joints. So now I'm like refining the shape. I'm going to refine the shape of these segments, the upper arm and the upper arms and the forearms, using my alcohol lamp. It has a wick inside and some denatured alcohol. And I got that from the Adam Bean website too. So I'm using the heat up my tool, my flat tool, spatula-like tool. I got from Harbor Freight. They come in packs. I can't remember what the brand name was, but you'll see, like if you go to Harbor Freight and you see like dental, they look like dental-like tools. It's a double-sided tool. This has one end is a flat. It's kind of like it's bent at slightly bent at the end on this side, and the other side is cut to a point, but it's still kind of like a spatula tool. So I have to pass the wax over the flame and pass the tool over the flame to heat it up. So I can work with it. And this is what I mean by heated tools. And this is one type of heated tool that I've been using. The other type is wax pen. It's a Kerr Ultra Waxer, and that uses electricity, and it has settings pad. You can adjust the temperature, and it goes into a tip. You can change the tips to any type of tip that you want, or the tips that are available for that for the Ultra Waxer. Right now I have a spatula-like tool tip. I have a couple of needle-shaped tips. I have a tip that's in the shape of a spoon. And those tips heat up, connected to a wire that leads into the unit, the waxing unit. The highest temperature that I go up with is 400, but it can go higher. It can go higher than 400. And then you can bring it down to 100 degrees. And lower, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't go too low because it hardly does anything. It doesn't provide enough heat to work with if I go any lower, I think. So right now I'm just still shaping it, smoothing out the surfaces. I suppose I could have skipped this step or used a loop tool instead of using the spatula. or this way of smoothing it out. I guess it helps me to compare things, to compare measurements. This method doesn't smooth it out perfectly, but it breaks it down a little bit more. Smoothing this down. Smoothing the wax down is a little tedious. Doing it this method. Okay, so now I'm smoothing out the other segments. So this CX5, it's advertised as a sculpting medium, premium sculpting medium. And what it's supposed to do is cut a step out. Like traditionally, when you're making a model, you either make it out of oil-based clay or super sculpey firm, and you start out with that model, and then you make, once you're finished with that, you make a mold of that model, and it's pretty detailed at that point. And then you make a mold of that model, and then cast toy wax into it, so that you can machine it, because it's so hard. You can hold it in your hands and refine it, smooth it out, sand it, machine it. I guess possibly add articulated parts to it, and then once you're finished with that step, then you can make another mold and then cast the final material, whichever that may be. So this wax is supposed to cut the first molding process out of the steps, so that all you do is sculpt it, and then you're ready to machine it, sand it, and then you're ready to make a mold for the final product. So I believe yes, it's possible to use it to use this material in that way. It's just that if you're used to starting with super sculpty or oil based clay initially, then it's gonna be a challenge for you. But if you're used to the traditional steps, if you're like an experienced toy maker, then a toy designer, then it would probably benefit you a lot more. But I don't know that much about toy making. I wish I did. I wish I was more familiar with working with wax. But I think the more that I work with it, the better I get.